I have a couple of guests here today, and I don't normally bring guests in. I like you all to myself. But I brought a couple of guests in today. The first one is FM. We're going to talk about the FM Shaumbra radio link that he's been working on. So he's here. And I also brought in another guest today. Another guest because, well, we have some remedial benching work to do. So I've asked my dear friend, my colleague, my fellow Ascended Master, Tobias, to come in today. I'll talk for just a moment about Pronost. I love Pronost. Pronost is the chance once a year to talk about the planet. And don't usually talk a lot about it because it's all about you and about your journey. But in Pronost, we get to talk about the planet and what's happening. But now, literally, what you're doing and what the planet is doing is really starting to converge together. And that, to me, was probably the most important part of Pronost 2022. Everything is changing so fast on the planet now. And as it does, it's time now more than ever to be your light. And for a couple of reasons. That's why you came here, to shine that consciousness on the planet. But it's also, right now, is such an important time on the planet for not only the light that you bring, but the balance that comes with that. And the other important thing about Pronost and what's happening on the planet right now, and particularly as we got into the subject of artificial intelligence, one of the big questions is, will it have consciousness? It's causing people to say, well, what the hell is consciousness? What is it? And it's causing people to realize that consciousness is not matter. It's not matter. It cannot be dissected mathematically, scientifically, with physics or anything else. But more and more really intelligent, sharp scientists and physicists are going to realize it's there. There's something very real about it. It's the essential part of the equation. So FM has been working on what we call the Shaumbra FM radio. Now, please, it's not literally a radio tower on Mars or anything like that. It's really a metaphor, but they're using special frequencies to transmit a very important message, a very simple message. The message is that it's all within you. You already know. With all of this turmoil happening on the planet and people unable to cope with it, they don't have the coping mechanisms, they're going to be looking for answers, and the genuine ones, the ones who are ready, the ones who are ready for the fruit of the rose and ready to take responsibility that it is within, they're going to be coming to Crimson Circle. These middle of the nighters are asking questions, deep questions that you asked, so you should understand. What's this all about? What am I doing here? What next? Is there anybody else like me out there? Remember that one? Is there any relief? And that's when so often now, in your modern times, where people sit down at their computers and they do a search. Well, the one that I see a lot now is just very simple. It's please help me. Typing into an internet search, please help me. And that's where you come in. They're going to be similar to you in many ways. They're going to be different in a lot of ways. And the last thing they need to hear is a bunch of macchio, a bunch of overly philosophical advice, a bunch of, even a bunch of like nurturing that's too sweet. They're not gonna, they don't want that. They want real answers, and this to all Shaumbra and to Crimson Circle. They're going to test you first. That's when you sit or stand firmly in your light. You'll know exactly the right words to say. There's no rehearsed script. Each one is going to be different. You're going to know exactly the words to say, or better yet, what not to say. What not to say. You're going to know when it's time to tell your story. It's when they're ready to hear it. Shaumbra, are you ready to be real and genuine? Are you ready not to do counseling and therapy and healing? No counseling whatsoever. No healing. No therapy. No processing. Just your light. That's it. Just your light. Let's talk about benching. Benching. Benching is not projecting your agenda onto anything on the planet. Benching is simply compassion. Standing behind the short wall, looking out at the world, being very aware of what's going on. Benching is accepting all things as they are, including yourself. Benching is without agenda. You don't sit there and try to make the world a better place or a worse place. You are simply shining a light. Let's take a deep breath and shine our genuine light out to the world right now without agenda. And as you do, this light, it contains your story. It contains your history. You're shining yourself out onto the planet. And as you do, as you shine your light, you're really first shining it unto yourself.